Let me tell you something that's been gnawing at me since I first saw the Verano de Escandalo results drop. You ever notice how wrestling events like this feel like they're trying to do too much at once? Like, there's this pressure to deliver a spectacle, but sometimes it just feels like a checklist of matches. But wait, what if I told you that this particular show, with Fenix defending the Cruiserweight title, actually has layers of storytelling that most people are missing? Let me break this down. First off, Fenix vs Mini Vikingo, it's not just a title match. It's a generational clash. Fenix, the veteran with the legacy, versus Mini Vikingo, who's got that raw, unpredictable energy. And here's the thing, when you watch Fenix work the ring, you're not just seeing a wrestler, you're seeing a guy who's been through the ringer of AAA's politics. He's survived the fall of the Latin American Championship, the chaos of the tag team divisions, and now he's back on top. But what does that mean for the Cruiserweight title? Is it just a stepping stone for someone bigger? Or is Fenix trying to cement his legacy here? Personally, I think this match is a masterclass in subtlety. The way Fenix uses his experience to outmaneuver Mini Vikingo, it's like watching a chess game where every move is calculated. But here's the kicker, Mini Vikingo isn't just a wild card. He's got that underdog vibe that could make him a fan favorite if he wins. And that's where the real intrigue lies. Because if AAA is trying to build a new star, they've got to decide whether to let Fenix keep the title or push someone like Mini Vikingo forward. Now, let's talk about the Latin American Championship qualifier. La Parka, Mecha Wolf, and Lince Dorado, three guys with completely different vibes. La Parka is the enigma, the guy who's always had that mysterious aura. Mecha Wolf? He's the wild card, the guy who's always throwing out the most absurd moves. And Lince Dorado? He's the underdog with the heart of a lion. But here's what's fascinating, this match isn't just about who wins, it's about who gets to be the next face of AAA's Latin American division. And that's a huge deal because the Latin American Championship has been a bit of a mess lately. It's been vacant, it's been contested in weird ways, and now it's this qualifier. What makes this really interesting is that none of these guys are exactly the same. La Parka's got the charisma, but does he have the in-ring credibility? Mecha Wolf's got the hype, but can he hold a title? And Lince Dorado? He's got the hunger, but is he ready for the spotlight? From my perspective, this match is a microcosm of AAA's current identity crisis. They're trying to figure out who they are as a promotion, and this qualifier is their way of testing the waters. And then there's the tag team match between El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and Galeno versus Dragon Dinamico. Now, this one feels like it's been building for years. These are all names that have been around for a while, but they've never quite clicked. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. is the classic heel, the guy who's always been a bit of a villain. Galeno? He's the underdog, the guy who's always fighting against the odds. And on the other side, Dragon and Dinamico, two guys who've been around but never quite broken through. What this really suggests is that AAA is trying to find a new direction for their tag team division. Because if you look at the history of this promotion, tag teams have always been a big deal. But now, it feels like they're trying to reinvent the wheel. One thing that immediately stands out is how these matches are all interconnected. Fenix's title defense, the qualifier for the Latin American Championship, and the tag team match, they're all pieces of a larger puzzle. And that's what makes this event so compelling. Because it's not just about who wins or loses, it's about how these matches set up the future of AAA. What many people don't realize is that wrestling is a business, and every match is a business decision. When Fenix wins the Cruiserweight title, it's not just about the belt, it's about the narrative. It's about who gets the spotlight, who gets the storylines, and who gets to be the next big thing. If you take a step back and think about it, this whole event is a test. A test of AAA's ability to balance tradition with innovation. A test of whether they can keep their fans engaged without falling into the same old patterns. And if they fail? Well, that's where the real drama comes in. Because when a promotion starts to feel stale, the fans start to tune out. But if they get this right, they could be looking at a new era of wrestling that's as exciting as it is unpredictable. So here's my question to you, when you watch these matches, do you see the story they're trying to tell? Or do you just see the action? Because that's the difference between being a fan and being a true wrestling enthusiast. And honestly, I think we're all just waiting to see what happens next.